Hey guys, we are back with some more New Jersey Devils franchise mode, and in this one, we are going to make a couple of moves, because one thing that I really think that we need is a shooting defenseman, another shooting defenseman. And the reason for that is we have one shooting defenseman in PK Subban. He gets a lot of shots, 209. He's pretty consistent about it, but he did have a down year for his standards last year. And Ty Smith, he looks like he might be somewhere in between a shooting defenseman and a passing defenseman, does a little bit of both. His first year, he had 97 shots, then the next year, 144, and this past year, 163. So maybe he builds on that, maybe he gets 180 this year. I think that'd be a nice shot total for him, but as far as shooting defenseman goes, that's about all we have, because then you go down to Butcher with 127 shots, and he didn't really help out the power play too much last year, because that power play, as we know, was absolutely atrocious. And then everyone below him, of course, does not take too many shots either. If Severson had a full season, I feel like he might be somewhere around Butcher, where Butcher is right now, because he had 79 and 60. But that being said, we do need someone who can dominate the shots like PK Subban can, because the power play in general, I feel like, needs another shooting defenseman. I feel like we need more shots from the point going through on the power play, which wasn't happening with this group of players. And I feel like normally players like Severson and Butcher and Smith should do pretty well on the power play, but our power play, even with Subban, just wasn't clicking last year. So we have to make some change offensively. And I honestly don't think there's too much of a problem with our forward core as it stands, because we have a good mix of everything here with our forwards. We really do. Gusev takes a lot of shots. Hall, Bratt, Palmieri all around 200. Nico at 180. Same thing for Hughes. Hughes is now physical as well. As we saw last year, he had over 100 hits, I believe. 126, and he's really good defensively. We have a lot of really good defensive forwards, a lot of good offensive forwards, so there's no excuse for why our forwards can't get it done. But our defense does lack a pure shooting defenseman there. So we're going to try to get that in a trade, because I looked at free agency, and there's really not too many defensemen there. And obviously there is Bowen Byram, who we saw in the trade block for the Colorado Avalanche, and he's an RFA right now, so I guess it makes sense. He's an 85 overall, but the only thing is, he's more or less the same kind of defenseman as Butcher is. And I'll show you why. He doesn't really hit. And he also doesn't really shoot the puck either. So he's, once again, more or less the same kind of player that Butcher or Severson is. Well, actually, Severson throws the body a lot. Butcher doesn't. Byram doesn't. So it'd be kind of redundant to get Byram. And then everyone else here, Niku, I don't think he takes a lot of shots. 138. Bufflin, he does take a lot of shots, but he's 38. Way too old for my liking for this team. We are in win now mode, but that's just, I don't know, that's a little too old. Tanev, we've had him before. I don't think we really need him at this point, and we know he doesn't take shots anyway either. Marcus Pettersson, as we take a look at him, he had 96 shots last year. Or actually, did he? He only played 3 games last year for Pittsburgh. But the year before that, he only took 96 in 82 games. So I don't think it makes sense to get him. Johnson, he's a little bit up there in age, doesn't take shots, and it only gets a little bit worse from there. So no one we're going after in free agency, but there is a player that I want to trade for. And as we head over to the LA Kings, who are still rebuilders according to the game. Now, part of that might be because they do, in fact, need a goaltender, but I'm looking at Justin Falk. Now, they also need defense. However, they're not in win now mode. We are. He's got 1 year left on his deal. He's an 85 overall at 31 years of age, but the part about Falk that I really like, he shoots the puck a lot. 250 shots last year, 241 the year before that, 246, 234 in year number 1 with Carolina. So it's pretty clear. We need a defenseman like Justin Falk. I don't think he lays the body too much. 66 times last year, but that's not really consistent throughout the simulation. But we're not getting him for physicality. We're getting him for the amount of shots that he takes. Because once again, that power play was pretty much dead last year in total. Besides maybe Hughes and Bratt, I think those were the only guys who put up more than 9 power play points. And we're also in this deal going to be getting back and forth for 2025. Now, going back the other way, of course, we're getting a defenseman, so we're going to have to send an NHL defenseman back the other way. That would be Will Butcher. He didn't produce much on the power play last year. He doesn't shoot the puck a whole lot. And with Severson, we need someone who shoots the puck. That's going to be Justin Falk. Because Severson doesn't shoot the puck a whole lot either. I mean, he basically shoots it the same amount as Will Butcher does. And Will Butcher isn't physical. And as we take a look at Severson here, again, he shoots the puck around the same amount of times that Butcher will. And he gets this around the same amount of points that Butcher will as well. But he hits a lot more. That's what counts for Severson for me. So I'm okay with having 2 righties together if it means getting another shooting defenseman. Because there were not too many other defensemen who I could find that were a good age who met all my criteria, basically. So Butcher, get on there. And a couple of other pieces we're going to be sending back the other way. They desperately need a prospect goaltender. We're going to be sending them Lewis as well as a second for this year. So I think this all makes sense. They get a younger defenseman than Falk who's locked up long-term. They get a goalie prospect. They get a second-round pick for an aging defenseman who I don't think will fit their timeline as far as when they're going to be good. So Butcher, Lewis, and a second for Falk, and a 4th for next year. That'll go through. Now, the next thing that we need to do is we need to offer some extensions out. And not just to Justin Falk. And good, he does want to re-sign. Although I'm not sure if I want to offer him right now. And the reason being, we don't know how he simulates yet on this team. We have a pretty good idea of how he might simulate. But I think we'll wait until at least, I would say, November, December to re-sign Falk. But 3 players that I do want to extend right now, Nico Hischier, Jesper Bratt, and PK Subban. So we'll start with Subban. And the reason for that, he wants a lot less money than he does currently make. So if we could get him down to like $6 million at 1 year, I believe that will be a steal for Subban. No matter what happens this year, for 1 year, you really can't go wrong. It's a low-risk contract for him. And he also may rebound. He may have a much better season this year than we anticipate. And if that happens, he'll want a lot more money in the upcoming offseason than he would have right now. So we're going to offer him this contract extension right now. And as for Nico, he's going to want a lot more for sure. But that's okay, because he's a cornerstone piece for us. He's not going anywhere. So this is going to be his big boy contract. Even though he only wants 3 years, we're going to give him... Oh man, his price really hikes up if we are going for 8 years. But we'll go 7 years. And remember, we're negotiating right now, so we don't have to start out where Nico wants. We'll go for 10.5 for 7 years. We'll see what he says about that. Actually, if I take him up to 8 years, you know what? Let's try 8 years for 11.1. If he accepts this, that would be an absolute steal. So Bratt is currently making $4 million. For 2 years, he wants 6.3. I think Bratt deserves a lot more term than that. He had 50 assists last year. Of course, it was a one-time thing, it looks like, but he had an incredible season. Yeah, 16 power play points. Him and Jack Hughes were dynamite on that power play. He wasn't fantastic defensively, but he definitely proved that he can perform offensively with this team. So we are going to sign him. I think I'll give Bratt 5 years. That's about right for him. And we'll start out at 6.5, about $1 million less than what he wants. There's also Robin Leonard who needs to be re-signed, but I'm not going to offer him right now because, well, the goaltending in this game is kind of unpredictable. So we're going to skip out on that for right now, and we are going to see if those 3 guys sign, and we will move on, presuming they do sign, to the preseason. And there you go. There's Druin Delorier is back as our NHL goalie coach. And there's Zajac, who's also back. Jake Allen is on board as well. And PK Subban has renewed for $6 million for 1 year. Nico has accepted the extension. That was like $2 million less than what he wanted. He loves it here in New Jersey. And Jesper Bratt has also signed. There you go. Actually, I lied. One more guy who I do want to re-sign right now, Anton Lundell. This guy is going to be poised for a breakout season if he is put in the right situation. And with the lines that I have thought up right now, I'm not going to say them right now, but with the lines that I predict we'll go into the season with, he should end up getting second line ice time. So we are going to extend him right now on a 2-year deal for, I'm going to say, actually, if I could get a 3-year deal at $2 million, that would be great. And we'll go 2 years. 2 years for $2 million for Anton Lundell. That makes sense. And there's Lundell. And we have a trade to Chicago. Will be a first in 2024, Parsons and Lindholm. And to the Rangers will be Namestnikov and Janmark. Another trade, we have to Columbus, a first in 2024, and Kevin Hayes. And to Philly, we have Alexander Wenberg and a fourth. So in goal, we have Leonard and Allen. And in the system, you have Cormier, Stahlberg, and Wingels. Defensively, you have Subban, Falk, Severson, Vukojevic, who's an 83 now. Haig, who's an 82. Smith stayed at an 82. That's unfortunate. You hate to see it, but at least he's getting some pretty good offensive numbers. And then Jordan Schmaltz at his 79. And in the system, Jacobs, White, Bernard, and Groslo. Forwards, you have Hall, Hughes, Hischier, Gusev, Bratt, Palmieri. Bellows is actually an 84. Lundell stayed at an 83. So we'll get him some more ice time this year. Maybe that'll help him grow a little bit more. Bajan is an 82 to start out his NHL career. Very nice. Zaka, 81. Boakvist stayed at an 81. Dubé, 80. And Cini, 78. And then the minors, you have Zetterlund, Griffith, Studenich, Clark, Zajac, Holscher, Pakila, Solani, and Pierce. So here are our line combinations for the start of year number 5. First line, Hughes, Hischier, and Hall. We moved Hughes to the wing to start out. I want to see what this does because Hughes is obviously a passer. Hall is a shooter. Nico's more of a passer as well. I want to see if that could get something going. Second line, Bratt, Lundell, Gusev, and another reason for moving Hughes to the wing was to get Lundell some more time 5-on-5. And the third line, Bellows, Boakvist, and Palmieri. And the fourth line, Bajan, Zaka, and Dubé. On defense, you have Smith and Subban, Falk, and Severson, Vukojevic, and Haig. And on the power play, you have Hall, Hischier, Gusev, Smith, and Falk. Second line power play, you have Bratt, Hughes, Lundell, Subban, and Palmieri. Four-man power play, Hughes, Hall, Smith, and Falk. Hischier, Gusev, Severson, and Subban. Penalty kill, Hischier, Bajan, Subban, and Vukojevic. And then the second wave, Lundell, Bellows, Severson, and Haig. Three-man penalty kill, basically the same, except minus the wingers, of course. 4-on-4, Hughes, Hall, Subban, Smith. Hischier, Gusev, Severson, and Falk. And then Lundell, Bratt, Haig, and Vukojevic. 3-on-3, Hughes, Hall, Subban, Nico, Gusev, and Falk, Lundell, Bratt, and Severson. Extra attackers are Hischier and Hughes. Shootout, Hughes, Hall, Hischier, Gusev, and Bratt. And in goal, you have Leonard and Allen, scratched Arsini, and Schmaltz. So you got the HHH line here. So we're going to see how all of these lines do. And now with Zajac, unfortunately, being out of the NHL, we have to assign a new alternate captain, as he was our alternate captain up until now. So, plenty of good options here. Hughes, Hischier, Subban, Severson, all guys who I was considering. But there is a guy who has shown a lot of leadership over the years and had a stellar playoff performance during our Stanley Cup run. That would be Nico Hischier. He gets the second A. And new numbers, you have Cini with 11. Bellows, I don't believe we ever saw his number last year. He is number 16. Bajan is number 5 as a forward. Falk's number 29. And Allen is 34. Oh, and by the way, goaltender rotations are now back on, as Leonard is obviously now our guaranteed number 1. Now, as we take a look at the preseason stats, the only reason I'm interested in this is because of Falk and Guy Bajan. I want to see how they did. So Falk, 6 points. Not too shabby. How did he do defensively? 1 and 2. Not bad. And 10 blocks as well. So let's see how Guy Bajan did. He's down here with 2 points. All right. But I'm mainly interested in how he did defensively. All right. 5-5. Not bad. And 11 hits. So maybe he's the physical kind. And he has an 84 for body checking, so that makes sense. He looks like he could be a very good, just well-rounded player. He's got mid to high 80s in basically every category, it looks like here. Other than his strength, which he can work on as he gets older. He's only 19 years of age. So yeah, looks like we got a pretty solid player there. So let's go through October here. We've assigned the scout, And unfortunately, right away, PK Subban out for almost a month till October 29th with a bruised arm. You absolutely hate to see it. Ah, jeez. Not off to a good start here in this season, and we haven't even played a game yet. So we'll get Falk onto that first line with Smith, and then with Severson will be Vukojevic, and then with Haig will be Schmaltz. So versus the Islanders, we have a 5-1 loss. Ooh, brutal. But we come back with a 4-3 win against Boston. So then you have Anaheim with a 5-1 win. There you go. Boston again. Oh, jeez, Taylor Hall. Subban and Hall out in the same, basically, period of time. Oh, man. All right. Gusev up to the first line. Palms up to the second. I'll get Bajan up to the third. And then into the fourth will be Brett Seney. And versus Boston, a 4-3 loss. Versus Edmonton, Halsey's old team, we get a 5-4 loss. Come on, boys. 5-3 win against Florida. So a little bit inconsistent right now. Two of our best players are down, unfortunately, but we're going to have to battle through the injuries. Taylor Hall is fully healed. Versus Vancouver, a 2-1 win. Versus San Jose, you have PK Subban, who is back from an injury. And versus San Jose, we have a 4-3 win. Edmonton, once again, we have a trade, not taking it. Edmonton, a 5-4 loss once again against the Oilers. That is 2 5-4 losses in a row against Edmonton. So at the end of October, we are 5-4. Could have been better, could have been worse. What I'm mainly concerned about, at least at the start of the season, is the power play. So we're going to take a look at the team stats here and see where we sit for everything. Goals for per game. We're actually quite up there. 3.56 goals for per game. It's our goals against per game that needs work. We are second to last in the division with a 3.33. Power play, oh my goodness. 13.8 on 29 opportunities. Hate to see it. Penalty kill, 77.8. That also needs to be changed. Okay. So, special teams have been likely the problem. Nico, good news though. Over a point per game, same thing for Hughes, same thing for Gusev, same thing for Hall. Falk is close to a point per game, so good acquisition so far. Smith with 6 points, Dubé, Bajan with 5, Palmieri and Bratt with 4, Schmaltz and Bellows with 3, Boqvist and Zaka and Haig with 2, Severson and Lundell with 1. Lundell only with 1 on the second line. And minus 13. That is unfortunate. He's still a third line scorer. He's doing well defensively. Just not producing offensively. You absolutely hate to see it. In 2 games, Subban with nothing, C with nothing, Vukojevic with nothing. And goaltenders, you have Leonard with an 893. Oh, man. We cannot get lucky with these goaltenders. You know what we need? We need a Miroslav Ozelinch. Remember him from the Tampa Bay Lightning last year? The 58 overall goaltender wonder boy. Actually, let's see if he's still in the Tampa Bay Lightning. Let's see. Yep, he's still there. Let's see his stats from last year. He grew up to a 65. I can see why. He had a solid season overall last year and a 910 save percentage. He went from a 58 to a 65. Looks like he's got a pretty good potential, but I mean, jeez. Vasilevsky, however, is not doing so hot, so I don't get goaltending in this game anymore. I really don't. So we obviously need to change our power play and penalty kill. We will do that right now. So new power play lines. We have Bratt, Hischier, Gusev, Smith, and Falk together on the first unit. And then the second unit is Halsey, Hughes, Palmieri, Boqvist, and Subban. So Boqvist is in for Anton Lundell. Lundell has not been really getting it done offensively so far this year. I want to leave him on that second line. He is a minus 13. However, I want to see more chemistry built between Bratt, Lundell, and Gusev. See if they can get it going here in November. And on the penalty kill, we have switched the defenseman up a little bit. Subban's now with Severson on the second pair, and Haig is with Vukojevic on the first penalty kill. Now, someone I want to keep an eye on is a goaltender that's in our system currently, and that would not be one of our elite goaltenders. That would be Petri Karppinen. He's a 63 overall, currently with a 945 save percentage in 11 games played in a men's league. If he could keep that up until right before December 1st, we might have to sign him and at the very least try him out. Because our goaltending, let's be honest, has not been fantastic so far this season. Leonard with an 893 save percentage in 8 games, and then Jake Allen with an 857 in 2 games. And the reason I say that is because we've seen what happened in Tampa Bay with Miroslav Ozilic. He's currently a 65 overall, a 911 save percentage in 2 games, and last year he was a 58 overall, 910 save percentage in 28 games. So it honestly, if he's performing that well in a men's league, it couldn't hurt to try him in the NHL. And if it does work out, then great. And also at that point, I just wouldn't understand goaltending in this game. Let's be honest. But it's worth trying at this point, I think. But again, we'll wait up until the day before December 1st to make the decision on whether or not we should sign him. So remember that he had a 945 save percentage in 11 games. If that's anywhere close to where it is right now, on November 30th, let's say, then we should definitely sign him and at least try him out in the NHL. So here we go. November is underway. 2 games against Washington, back-to-back, 4-1 win. Then away, we have a 5-0 victory against them. Let's go. Keep it going, boys. 3-0 victory against Florida. You love to see it. Versus Pittsburgh, we have a 4-3 victory. Keep it going. New York, we have a 5-2 victory. There you go. Now we're starting to click. LA, 4-2 win. That's what you like to see. Just keep it going. Damon Severson, unfortunately, injured with an injured knee until November 22nd. I believe that is about a week away from now, so it's not too long. So we will get Haig up there, I believe, with... Actually, no, let's get Vukojevic up there. And then with Haig will be Schmaltz. As we go past Pittsburgh, that is a brutal loss. Come back with a win. There you go, 6-3 against Detroit. Buffalo, you have a 5-3 loss, and Damon Severson is back. Game against Ottawa, a 3-0 loss. Absolutely hate to see it. And against Winnipeg, a 5-2 win. Montreal, a 6-4 loss. Philly, a PK Subban injury. Man, the injuries are getting us hard right now. So I guess Falk up to the first line with Smith. And then with Severson will be Vukojevic. And then, of course, with Haig will be Schmaltz. Philly, we have a shootout loss. All right, we'll take the point. And, oh my goodness, Severson injured again with an injured leg until December 5th. Our defensemen are going down left and right here, and I believe we'll actually have to call up a defenseman from the AHL, as yes, we will. So we will call up Xavier Bernard here. And games against Minnesota and St. Louis. Actually, I don't want to simulate St. Louis yet because I want to check on that Karpinen guy. We are 13-9-1 after about 2 months of simulating. Nico is over a point per game. We're currently in the wild card spot, so we're not in a terrible position, but we could be in a better position for sure with how we've played in some of our games, and then other games haven't really gone our way. So Nico, 27 points. Gusev with 26. Hall with 21. Hughes with 21. Falk with 18. Bratt with 16. Dubé with 13 on the fourth line. Beijing with 12. Palmieri with 11. Smith with 10, Boqvist with 9, Zaka with 9, Lundell with 8, Bellows with 8, Subban with 7, Haig with 5, Schmaltz with 3, Severson with 3, Vukojevic with 1, Cini with none. And in goal, you have an 891 save percentage for Leonard and an 898 for Allen. So Allen's gotten a little bit better, but he honestly couldn't really get much worse than an 847. And Robin Leonard, unfortunately, has gotten worse since we last checked. So let's check on that Karpinen guy. And let's see if he was able to maintain at least around a 930 save percentage. If he was able to do that, then I will be impressed and we will officially sign him. Yeah, 938 in 15 games played. You know what? Again, it can't hurt to try. Maybe we'll get ourselves a Miroslav Ozilic situation here. So we'll try it out, because again, it really can't hurt right now with how hard our goaltending has been at times. And we'll take Allen out, we'll get Karpinen in, and we'll get him in the starting position. I just want to see what he's capable of, because you never know. We may have a Miroslav Ozilic 2.0 right here. So let's test him out. And with that being said, we're going to turn off automated goalie rotations. I mean, look at these stats here. 938 save percentage, 5 shutouts, 9 wins in 15 games played. In a men's league, nonetheless, we gotta give him a try. But before we do, let's take a look at our team stats. Make sure we're improving in the areas that we wanted to improve in. So goals for per game, we're still up there at a 3.52. Goals against per game, we've gone down to a 3.13. It's much better than before, 3.33. Power play, 20%. Okay, better. Penalty kill is still not good. But maybe that's as a result of our goaltending, is our penalty kill. So let's try out Petri Karpinen here for a couple of games. We'll start out against St. Louis. His first game, what can he do in the NHL? And he has a 7-4 win. All right, he got the win. He got the win. Versus Columbus. Let's see if he can get another one. And PK Subban is back. That should help out. And Damon Severson is eligible to return to the lineup, so we will send Bernard back down. Game against Columbus, we have a 2-0 loss. So he performed well. It's just his offense couldn't score for him. So let's go for another game against St. Louis here. See what he can do. TVR is on waivers. No thanks. Damon Severson is now fully healed. We'll get him back in the lineup in favor of Jordan Schmaltz. All right, here we go. St. Louis, 3-2 shootout loss. So again, only 2 regulation goals. Let's keep going. Washington, we have a 5-4 shootout win. He's getting the points, and even in the games that he's losing, he's performing well. So I don't want to take him out right now. 8-7 victory. I'll take it. The offense is performing for him too when he needs it. Washington, 5-4 shootout loss. He's getting the points. I'm going to keep rolling with them as long as we're getting points. And the Nashville Predators have fired head coach Tony Holt just before we're about to face him. And Petri Karpinen gets the 3-2 victory. Let's go. Versus Montreal, we have a 5-2 victory. Let's go, Petri. And versus Arizona, a 9-3 loss. Okay, so there's his first, well, not his first game of letting up more than, let's say, 4 goals, but his first rough loss, let's say. So let's see his save percentage so far over that amount of games. 870 save percentage over 9 games, 4 wins. He did well in his wins for sure, but I think we'll go for Leonard here for a little bit. But still, in the wins that he did get, he was pretty solid. And even when he lost, it usually wasn't by a whole lot. And we got some losers points because of it, you know. Shootout loss. And that one regulation loss right there, that was a 2-0 game, so his offense didn't help him. But he did obviously let in quite a few goals, especially in the games against Buffalo and against Arizona. So we'll give Robin Leonard some time here. We'll give him up until, let's say, after Tampa Bay. We'll see how he does in this 5-game stretch. Against Vegas, we have a 6-1 loss. That is unfortunate. Taro Solani is injured. Best lines for the AHL. And versus the Islanders, 5-4 win. Versus Chicago, 4-2 win. So we're getting wins. It's just, for some reason, we just can't keep the puck out of our net, regardless of who's in net. We haven't had any luck with goaltenders so far in this series. 7-5 win against Tampa Bay. And let's see, against Dallas, Taro Solani's back, and we have a 3-2 shootout win. So we're 22-13-3. We're in a divisional playoff spot. That's something we haven't been able to say for a while now. So I think we'll end the simulation part of the video off here. And we'll check out the stats and see if anything needs to be fixed. Start with forwards. Hischier, 41 points in 38 games. Hughes with 40 points in 38. Gusev with 38 points. All those guys point per game. Hall's almost a point per... Well, actually, he is a point per game because he's played less than 38 games. 37 points in 35 games. Bratt with 27. Beijing with 20 on the 4th line. My goodness. Is he getting power play time? I don't think he's getting power play time. No, he's not. That's 20 points on the 4th line and 8:41 of ice time for Guy Beijing. He's looking solid. He's also, I mean, his defensive ratios could be better, but he gets quite a few hits there. 32 hits in 38 games played. He's on pace for about 70. It's a pretty good rookie season so far for Guy Beijing. Jesper Boqvist, 19 points so far for him. Paul Mary with 10 goals, 18 points. Dubé with 17. Bellows with 16. Zaka with 14. Lundell with 14 as well on second line. So he's definitely struggling a little bit there to score. But I'm going to trust that he's helping out at least a little bit defensively. He has a solid takeaway to giveaway ratio. Actually, probably one of the best on our team. And then, obviously, he doesn't hit much, but he does win faceoffs, and he does take away the puck a lot. So that's my main reasoning for leaving him on the second line for right now. And we're winning games for the most part. And Brett Seney with 0 points. So it goes straight from Lundell to Seney. So Lundell is, I think, actually, Lundell is 12th for forwards for point scoring on our team. Yeah, that is unfortunate. So he's definitely struggling offensively, but he's helping out a lot defensively. And speaking of defensively, we have our defenseman here, Justin Falk with 31 points, been a really good pickup so far. Subban with 20 points, Smith with 16, Severson with 9, Haig with 7, Schmaltz with 4, and Vukojevic with 3. Subban, Haig, Severson, and Falk all with 40 hits or above. Vukojevic with 37, so I believe he's close to a hit per game as well. Yep, 37 in 38 games. And Smith with 16, Schmaltz with 12 in 13 games played. So he's also almost a hit per game. And takeaways to giveaways for defensemen we know are going to be kind of brutal, but Falk is actually not that bad. 14 to 18, that's actually really good for a defenseman. Haig, that's a good ratio for him. Severson could be a bit better. Smith could be better. Vukojevic could be better. Schmaltz, that's actually really good for him as well. Subban, he's trying to create offense, but 4 to 33, that's a bit rough. That's actually one thing we forgot to do. Check out hits and defensive ratios for forwards. Also check out the faceoffs. Zacha with a 54.9. Hischier with a 54.2. Lundell with a 52.1, so Lundell's gotten much better at faceoffs, and Boqvist with a 50.5. Hit-wise, Hughes actually leads forwards in hits, so Hughes, all of a sudden, in this GM mode, has become very physical, even though his strength is only at 78, and his body checking only at 74. So Jack Hughes has really shown that he can play the physical side of the game as well. Maybe they're not quality hits, but, you know, they're at the very least, he's trying to get the puck back from the other team by at least physically imposing himself. So that's good to see. Kiefer Bellows with 65, Hall with 61, Palmieri with 54, Beijing with 32, Lundell with 30, Bratt, Zacha, Gusev, Hischier, Dubé, Boqvist, all under a hit per game. So I think we're lacking some physicality at forward for sure. As far as the takeaways to giveaways go, you have Lundell, Hischier, Hall, Hughes, all doing amazing. Bellows could be doing a bit better. Palmieri, Boqvist are good. Gusev could be better. Zacha's good. Bratt could be better. Dubé could be better. Beijing could be better. Cini, 1-1. He hasn't played too many games. Not going to really be fussy about that. And in goal, you have Leonard with an 888 save percentage, Karpinen in 10 games with an 874, and Allen with an 898 in 6 games. I don't know what to do about the goaltending. It's such a mystery right now. And then with all the goaltenders throughout the rest of the league, let's check that actually. Kind of interested to see what kind of save percentages are being posted around the league at the moment. Let's say 20 games, just so that we can see all the starters here. So Spencer Knight with a 922 save percentage leads the league. Only 3 guys with a 920 or above. And then only 4 guys anywhere between a 910 and a 919. And then below that, you have Rantog, Georgiev. You have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 goaltenders between a 909 and a 900. Everybody else is below 900. 899 for Riddick, Quick, Jones, Vasilevsky, Omark, Anderson, Rask, Dell, Nedeljkovic, Korpisalo, Holtby as well, Leonard, DiPietro, Price, Demko. I mean, geez, the save percentage in this game. And as we take one more look at our team stats for this episode, before we end things off to see where we're at, goal scoring wise, we're fine. 3.66 goals for per game. It's the goals against that we struggle with big time. I don't know whether it's our goaltending itself or our goaltending coach or our defensive systems that's causing all of this. But you got to think, we've gone through so many goaltenders at this point. I think it's been, 6 goaltenders now, including Karpinen? We got to figure that out somehow. The power play, surprisingly enough, has actually gone down from when we last checked. So we must be really, really good at scoring 5-on-5 because our goals for per game is all the way up there at 3.66. Our penalty kill, extremely bad. 69.8. That is brutal. Maybe our penalty kill is part of the problem here. So I think I'll figure this all out off screen. You guys let me know your suggestions for the penalty kill as well. And I'm going to end it off here. Let me know what we should do, and I'll see you guys in the next one when we continue on with year number 5.